Welcome back to another show because I feel like it. This is your boy Nelson, and we're going to talk about what's next for the Buffalo Bills and how the season has ended. A lot has going on in these last couple weeks, just in the NFL prior. The coaching carousel is spinning, teams have new faces, and leaders are made just a few minutes ago. Now, I want to say to all the Buffalo Bills fans, congratulations. We have made it to another season where we are not in the Super Bowl. It's disheartening, it's discouraging, and the tears on Josh Allen says it all. Even in the locker room, there were dry, no one had a dry eye. Ah, once that happens, then of course you have to have the president and the GM involved. So we're going to get into the decision making of the front office for the Buffalo Bills. We're going to get into the head coaching, the head coach, Sean McDermott for the Buffalo Bills. We're going to get into the season and how it played out, especially at the end. We're going to get into some key plays. Please like and subscribe. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Artie. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to the staff. Shout out to Swerve. We will bring you more content. But let's get into it. As you see, I'll always wear my chain, okay? Regardless if we win or lose, I'm always going to be a supporter of the Buffalo Bills. I am not going to shy away from the Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to team hop. I'm not going to be a front runner. I'm not going to be the one who changes up because a lot of GMs and presidents have decided to let the leader of their men go. As you see, if you're watching the sports and all the networks, that there have been teams that have different captains at the helm. And surprisingly, Buffalo Bills have fired Sean McDermott. I was actually coming into work and someone asked me, "Why you look so sad?" I said, "I look so sad because I'm leaving home and I want to play with my kids." He said, "Oh, I thought you were sad because of your coach." And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, Sean McDermott got fired." I didn't believe it at first. I was in denial. I was in shock. Couldn't believe it. It kind of stunned me a little bit because how do you fire a man with 9 winning seasons, second uh, far as team record, we're underneath the Chiefs, and we have won 61% of our games, and that's impressive. Underneath the Kansas City Chiefs, for they, let's face it, have the dynasty of this era of Super Bowls, and we have come, yes, short, but we are right up there with the elite. So when Sean McDermott, uh, I got the news that he was fired, it was a head scratcher. Sean McDermott is a man who played at the William and Mary with Mike Tomlin, and he is a defensive guy. Um, and he had the heart of the locker room. I've seen plenty of clips of him and Josh Allen doing snow angels in the Buffalo Bills uh, on field, and he had a connection. Now, I ain't saying it was perfect, him and Josh Allen's relationship, but it did work. Now, with that being said, Josh Allen has a relationship with Brandon Beane and Terry Bugala. And what Josh Allen brings to the table is a couple things. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But getting back to Sean McDermott, he did coach very well. You can't tell me anybody that you would not take as a head coach. You cannot say anybody in the top carousel of from the John Harbaughs to Mike Tomlins to uh, Andy Reid's that Sean McDermott is not in the top 10 NFL head coaches. So, with that being said, when he was fired, I was shocked. Now, I'm not the only one who is shocked about this. Matter of fact, the city of Buffalo is turning their tables upside down, and there is a petition. And the petition is to bring Sean McDermott back. I have never seen that before, far as an NFL fan base, that there is a signed petition to have Sean McDermott back. So what does that tell you? That means that this decision was an emotional decision by the GM and the president for the Buffalo Bills. Terry Bugala and Brandon Beane press conference really woke me up and tells me a lot about where they're going with the organization. As a businessman and as a person of interest in the community, you have to think logically, irrationally, and be emotionless. And unfortunately, the Buffalo Bills players were in tears, especially in the media eyesight. As you saw Josh Allen press conference, he said he let his team down. With 5 turnovers, I will see why. He was crying, literally, at the podium. His hands was in his face. He just couldn't stop the waterworks from coming down. Now, with that being said, what does that do for you as a GM and a president? Okay. Now, Brandon Beane and Josh Allen have a great relationship, so does Terry. And this is what I think why there had to be some blame. It had to be some blame because we're not going to get rid of our quarterback who made 5 turnovers. He had a fumble, he had an interception, and this stat you won't see it, but he had some miss and overthrown balls. Okay. The timing with a quarterback and a tight end, a receiver, and receiver 1, 2, or 3, XYZ slot, the timing at this point of the season in the playoffs should be like clockwork. You should know where your receivers are going to be. You should know where they're going to sit down in the zone. You should know if it's man-to-man covers, who's going to win. You have the guys in place. Now, Josh Allen took all credibility, but the difference was I never seen Josh Allen so emotional that it permeated throughout the whole locker room. And everybody, grown men with mortgages, families, kids, were crying like they just lost a high school game. So, as the GM, you walk in, you feel the somber, you feel the disappointment, you feel the grief, you feel the agony over the years that you just keep coming up short. So, that might trigger you to make an emotional decision. And I think that Brandon Beane and Terry made an emotional decision. And I'll tell you why. Because they said in the press conference, the decision was made to fire Sean McDermott was from this game, from the results of this game. Now, that's different from, hey, we got a coach that just couldn't get the job done. He's executed over the years. We appreciate his contribution. We understand he was a pillar in the community for the Buffalo Bills organization, but we decided to go elsewhere. That's more reasonable than we are going to fire you because of this game. Now, I'm not holding the candlestick to anybody but Josh Allen at this point. So let's talk about Josh Allen. If you have seen the history of this playoff team. It was a seeding, okay, that we knew we weren't the number one, we weren't the number two, but we was not the number seven. So we were just mediocre just to make the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest with you. As a Buffalo Bill fan, you got to put this perspective. I didn't think this team had a chance, but I was faithful they will make it past the first round, especially the wild card. Because remember, they lost during the season to a team they beat in the playoffs. So I was ecstatic that we beat the Jaguars. But how we won concerned me because we won off of a tipped interception, a tipped ball that Trevor Lawrence threw. The defense run game was in the bottom barrel of the NFL. So if you had a top just running back who can split the tackles, A gap, B gap, run for 15 yards on a consecutive basis over 13, 12, you knew that the soft spot for the Buffalo Bills was the run game. We had shootouts, okay? So the OC is Joe Brady for the Buffalo Bills, and you can't blame Joe Brady because he's done an elite job calling the plays in crucial situations, and Josh has executed. But for some reason, this game, Josh did not. It was almost as if the Superman cape was on so tight he was choking himself. As you remember watching the game, Josh Allen ran the ball. He had the ball, arm extended, loose, fumble, interceptions, sporadic plays that just was not working against the Denver Broncos. And the Denver Broncos were ready. They've been ready all season. Obviously, Josh Allen wasn't ready for the big stage. This was the worst game I've seen Josh Allen play as a Buffalo Bills fan. So I understand the tears. Josh Allen really has no room now for any more excuses. You've been to the AFC Championship twice. The rule has changed in overtime because of the play last time they played. I think it was in 2022, where you go down, you score, and that's sudden death. And you don't have the other team have a chance to win. That was changed in our favor. Now the fact that we were in overtime and we still cannot win. Who was to blame? You got to point the finger. And Sean McDermott took the nail. Now, what's next for the Buffalo Bills? I honestly don't know who's going to take on this position. Okay. You got defensive coordinators getting hired for head coaches' jobs, and you have iconic coaches going to the same but also other conference. John Harbaugh is now the New York Giants head coach. The NFC East has gotten interesting. You have Mike Tomlin, who stepped away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there's an opening for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, as you remember, the Buffalo Bills had to get through Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. For the first time this year, there was no roadblock. The stage was set. The coaching was there. It's just the players. Now, everybody's talking about the PI, and the catch. Okay, let's talk about it. The pass interference, yes, that was a pass interference at the end of that game. Okay. The two pass interference, the one before was a little, but that last one, yeah, that come on. That was a pass interference. He did not turn around and look for the ball. He put his arms up, but he clearly tackled the guy in the air. Okay. Now let's talk about the catch strip. Okay. Let's talk about that. The ball, this is a crucial moment of the game. And he goes up, he catches the ball. Okay. And for me, when I saw that play, I said that's a great defensive play. Okay. That's a great decent defensive play by a cornerback who did not give up on a play. Okay. Now you realize at this point in the game, if we catch that ball, all we got to do is kick a field goal. Okay. And Josh Allen threw for 283 yards with 3 touchdowns. Okay. Now, James Cook had over 117 yards. Now, the receivers, yes, you had Shakur, you had Kincaid, but this catch could have just sealed it. This catch would have been immaculate. His name would have been in the Ring of Honor. Okay. But he did not make the catch. Cooks did not make the catch. Okay. It was only one thing he had to do was put his knee down. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. His knee was down when he caught the ball. Did he have full possession of it when he rolled over? No, he did not. But last time I checked, when you catch the ball, press it, have possession of it, and your knee is down on the ground, is that still considered a catch? Now, football perspective, former player, you got to grab the ball. That ball is yours. You can't give away the pill. You can't give away the rock at any time. You ever been underneath a pylon and they're pulling at your leg? They're pulling at your arm. They're putting fingers in your eyes. They're probably punching you in places where it's private, but you still got to hold on to the pigskin. And that was man on man, eagle on eagle. Who wants it more? And obviously, the defensive quarterback, I mean, the cornerback for the Denver Broncos wanted it more. So that was a changer, right? That was groundbreaking, right? And if you're playing Madden, you hear John, oh, wow, boom. That was a moment. But some Buffalo Bills fans think that was a catch. Now, another crucial moment, Josh Allen trying to play Superman, gets out of the pocket, scrambles, fumbles the ball. But the most crucial thing for me was when he missed, I think it was Kincaid on a shallow route in the two-man zone, and the ball went over his head. And you knew right there all season that Josh Allen been making that throw. But I remember when it was a two-point conversion and Josh Allen's arm wasn't strong enough and the ball died. And it just landed to the left of Shakur. Flood play to the right. He goes back counter and he misses the two-point conversion. Josh Allen, once again, did not show up in the crucial moment. And it happened against the Denver Broncos. This time, instead of the ball dying, the ball sailed over the arms of Kincaid, one of his targeted receivers. It's frustrating as a Buffalo Bills fan to go through this, but maybe this is a blessing in disguise. And the fact that we did not win this game and the fact that those cleansing tears came out, maybe this is a sign, hey, this hurts so much that we're going to get the attentions of the GM, Terry and Brandon Beane. Okay? And we're going to have them make a hard decision, in which they did. But what's next for Buffalo? I'm not sure, but I will tell you this. I still believe in Josh Allen. I still believe in Keon Coleman. I still believe in James Cook. I still believe in Khalil Shakur. I still believe in all those guys. And I still believe we'll be back here next year, all right, in the playoffs and making it past the wild card. And I still believe we are the team that's going to make it to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to put it out there before 2030, we will be in the Super Bowl. But right now, it's very hard to get this feeling and this taste out. It's sour, it stinks, it's putrid. And the fact that we are just almost there. And then on top of that, we have a discourse between fans and organization, a petition to bring back the head coach with 9 winning seasons. Tell me what you guys think. Does the Buffalo Bills is this a dramatic ending to the Buffalo Bills period? Or is just a moment of time for the Buffalo Bills this season? Because the script was all set. I mean, the script was not better, when DeMar Hamlin went down with, God bless. I'm glad he's, back now. He's playing, but it was the path. And the Denver quarterback Bo Nix, that lets you know the divine nature here. The man was playing with I think, a broken ankle the whole time, and no one knew. Now Bo Nix is out for the next game against the New England Patriots, and they're playing with the backup that hasn't thrown the ball since 2023. It makes no sense, man. We should be in the AFC Championship right now. But Josh Allen has to look in the mirror and say, hey, man, what am I doing? Why am I not coming up in crucial moments? Why do I feel like I got to be Superman? Why do I feel like I got to do too much just to win a game? Dink and dunk, slide, ball security, open player pass completion. It's simple, but simple isn't easy. Just for the end of the season, we had some great stats, man. We had some great accolades. Man of the Year award goes to Oliver. Uh, not. Oh, I'm sorry, not Oliver. Um, and let me see. I'm sorry. I can't think of his name right now. Our left tackle. Um, but shout out to Milano for getting through Riddle injuries. Shout out to just the defense, just holding on. You know, we went through, and every NFL team goes this through the pup list, right? Just guys who are questionable or and definitely out, and you know. But let's take this into consideration. We got to get rid of this stigma, of the uncertainty. Okay, we gotta really strap our boots up and say, what do I need to do different? Okay, all right, what do we need to do? Just why and maybe that's what Terry was thinking. Now I'm gonna give this perspective, and you can debate me on this. Please comment. But I really think that Terry and Brandon Bean looked at Josh Allen as a son and say, I am tired of my son crying on that stand, and he's balling his alls out. He did everything he could throughout the 9 seasons to get us to a Super Bowl, and it's enough. You ever have that moment where you want to protect your kids, like His and Hers on Netflix, and you'll do anything you can to get rid of the bully? You do anything you can to get rid of the obvious reason your kids are crying. And as a parent, you would just cut the meat and trim the fat just to protect your daughter or your son. I think Terry and Brandon Bean did that. They felt like Sean McDermott couldn't cut it, couldn't get over the hump. It was time. But I do believe that emotional decision isn't the correct call. The quarterback of the Buffalo Bills wears number 17. He is going to be there more than 7 years. It's time. I don't know if we're going to get another opportunity like this again. I'm gonna be honest with you. This postseason was perfect. We The NFL stands for not for long, and these moments are rare. And now the AFC East has flipped back to the New England Patriots. They're the kings now. And if Josh Allen doesn't look himself in the mirror and say, "It is on me, I need to change right now," and the people around him are just patting him on his back and saying, "It's okay. You did everything you could. Dry your eye." That's a problem. There's got to be some stiffness. There has to be some coldness towards Josh. Okay. Yes, he's the league MVP. Yes, he has accolades. Yes, he has endorsement deals, commercials. Yes, he's the face of the Buffalo Bills. But sometimes you need a little spanking. Sometimes you need a little discipline. Sometimes you got to take away the PS5. Sometimes you got to take away the iPad. Sometimes you got to take away the privilege of knowing that you're the guy. So maybe this draft coming up in April, maybe we need to draft a quarterback just to put a little pressure and say, "Hey, man, it's been 9 years, and you haven't been cutting up the snuff. You've been dropping the pie, and the apples are all over the place. The crust is all over the place. All right, we can't put you in the oven because you haven't been cooking. Maybe they need to draft a number one. Maybe Mendoza needs to get his shot. Now, of course, they're not going to draft, you know, you're not going to get the number one pick because I believe that man from Indiana University, he deserves everything that's coming to him. All praise be to God. He does that in all his interviews. Okay. Glory to him. Congratulations to Indiana University. I can't believe it. A basketball school won the national championship in the CFB. Big ups to Indiana Hoosiers. But maybe it's time for Josh to look over his shoulder and say, "Oh man, I got somebody coming." I mean, we'll take the boy from Vanderbilt, the Spanish quarterback. I forgot his name. Okay. But we need to put some pressure on Josh. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. Start looking at a quarterback just to get him on his heels. Because right now, Trubisky doesn't give me that, "Hey, I'm going to go after jobs for Josh Allen's job." It doesn't. I think he feel like he's too safe. Now, don't get me wrong. I saw the tears, and I'm gonna leave you with this. I was talking to one of my friends, and he said this, and I know you're gonna love this, Marcus. I know you're gonna love this, Eagles fans. He said, if this was Jalen Hurts, would they give him any excuses? Let's think about that for a minute. I ain't talking about black and white. I'm talking about football. I'm talking about mistake free. I'm talking about strategically planning. I'm talking about making the right decisions. Do you really think if this was Jalen Hurts, that if he was crying on the stand, which I don't think that Q brother would be, do you really think there would be so much sympathy and empathy for Jalen Hurts, a Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, a Bo Nix, which is his what, second year? But it's one of those things where you gotta really see what the NFL is saying, what your GM is saying, because Terry and Brandon Beane are in Josh Allen's corner. If they weren't, they would have kept Sean McDermott. Joe Brady, I hope he gets the head coaching job. I really do. All right. I don't want the head coach, former quarterback coach. I think his name Debo. I don't want him. I'll take Don Shula's grandson. Anybody else. But to be honest with you, bring back your homeboy. Bring him back. Yeah. Bring back Sean McDermott. Bring him back. That petition, I'm sure 1,000 and 1,000,000 people signed it to bring him back. Okay? That's not fair, man. Give that man another shot. Okay? In that press conference as well, there was this whole Keenan Coleman debacle, and oh no. So anytime a GM and a president, and you could tell it's an age gap, and there's more like a grandfather grandson type of age difference, but it's like, wait a minute, hold up, let me cut you off. Let me tell you what I did, Terry. I'm talking to you. Why did you cut your boy off in the middle of the press conference just to say what you needed to say about Keon Coleman? Why throw him underneath the bus like that? Why throw Brandon Beane underneath the bus like that? Or why even mention why you didn't let him finish a sentence? Because you were scared of what Brandon Beane was going to say about making a decision about Keon Coleman and drafting him? Was you going to just like, well, no, we can't say what we really said on draft day. I wish I had the answer. I wish I had the future in my hands. But I'm spent as a Buffalo Bills fan. But I'm not wrung out. I'm not quitting. I am loyal through and through to blue and red. Okay? Shoot. I don't get it though. So as far as the cap situation, I have to look that up. They have room. I'm sure you cut some get some of the dead weight off of the defense. There'll be some cap space. Let's see here. The cap for the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna look it up. So, of course, the NFL is a $1 billion business, and these owners are billionaires. Just look at Jerry Jones Oil Company, and others. But as far as the cap space for the Buffalo Bills, it's because they didn't draft high. Okay, they had the number one pick, of course, but no one just took the bank. So let me just see here, Buffalo Bills cap space, and let's see how much how much they're spending, because we're going to get probably we're going to get a first rounder, but we're going to get our players in the second or later rounds because we made it to the playoffs, with the seeding. So it's like every year we make the playoffs, but we can't get the top guy, right? We can't get that the guy, and we settle like for of course we got a defensive tackle, and we got defense, we got a corner from Kentucky. I get that, stuff like but little stuff like that, like we don't have the guy. Like Keon Coleman was at Florida State, but he wasn't a top tier elite receiver coming out that year. So it's just one of those things. We got to find a way to get that number one spot, the guy that's going to be a game changer. Because we the best receiver we had, Terrell Owens. We had Gabe Davis went down. That hurt us. Our deep threat. So we need a guy on the outside. Of course, Stephon Diggs, and I know Stephon Diggs. He's smiling right now. If Stephon Diggs wins the Super Bowl, man, he's that's redemption, that's revenge. That it will be the ultimate send off, like F you. All right. He's gonna be like F you. See what you missed out on. See what you could have just threw it to me against Cincinnati, bro. You could have just, I was wide open. I'm here. But shout out, from and I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, but I'm also a realistic Buffalo Bills fan, and I, I'm also a former player, so it's nothing like having your team lose after you've been traded. Okay, it's nothing like watching your team lose after you've been traded, and it's nothing like beating them in the playoffs. But they didn't even get a chance to play them in the playoffs. That's the crazy part. So Stephen Diggs didn't have to have that FU moment, on the sideline. He didn't have to go back to the stadium. And we're getting a new stadium, by the way. So that's what's new. That's the best thing I can say. What's next for the Buffalo Bills? That we're getting a new stadium. We're getting a new stadium, right? We're getting rid of Highmark. We get a new stadium, man. So that's the best thing right now. That's the answer. The next best thing for the Buffalo Bills is a new stadium. Because right now, man, we are a mess right now. Our head captain, the chief of the ship, is gone. We got Terry and Brandon Bean. They're just making emotional decisions, and they're trying to cover each other's butts, and they're babying Josh. Let's just face it. But they're babying Josh, and it's okay, but it's not okay, right? Because how are you going to keep enabling, your kid? And I'm not saying Josh Allen's a kid. I'm not saying he's a grown man. He just got married. Congratulations. I think he just had a daughter too. So no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that sometimes you got to show some tough love to get the best out of someone. I have sons, I know. Sometimes you got to scream at them a little bit. Hey, sit down. Hey, just to stimulate and wake them up a little bit. Like it's no, it's not all good. Right? You need to go read your book. You need to go sit. You need to no. It's not okay that you're playing Roblox. No, it's not okay. You keep fumbling the ball, Josh. It's not okay. You keep throwing interception, Josh. It's not okay that you're overthrowing our players, Josh. It's not okay. It's not going to be. Oh, okay. It's not okay. And I think Josh. I think he knows that. That's why he was so boo-hoo. I think that's why. I think that's why. I think that's why Josh. He realized that he really effed up. So we got cap space 322,000. Okay, that's a lot of money. All right, I don't know what they're going to do with that. So that's the total cap allocation. Top 51 cap space. We're 26. Okay, so 11 mil. So and dead cap we got 432,000, and we're 28th. Okay, so we're not even. We don't have enough money to get the big guys, man. Josh Allen contract right now is 56 mil. Deion Dawkins, yes, man of the year. Doing a lot for the community. He got a 24 mil contract. Let me see. Let me go down this again. Just for all my gross nerds. Ed Oliver, 24 mil. Spencer Brown, right tackle, 19 mil. See, and look, Dawson Knox, 18 mil. So the top 5 highest paid players on the Buffalo Bills right now is a quarterback, a left tackle, a D lineman, a right tackle, and a tight end. Number 6 is a receiver. We don't have a top deep threat. Okay. And that's what I'm talking about. Okay. We need to have a guy that we know is going to catch the ball and win if Josh can only throw it to him. Okay. Khalil Shakir right now is 14th. He's getting 6 mil. Okay. Just look at the numbers. He's getting 6 mil. Okay. After that, the next receiver is Keon Coleman, 27th on the team, highest. He's a 27th, and this is supposed to be your number one. He's only getting 2 mil. Come on, bro. Like, where's our priority? It's with Josh Allen. It's with Josh Allen, man. Like, we put all our eggs in one basket. You know what? I'm going to end on a good note. We are getting a new stadium. We are getting rid of that stigma of we can't win. Okay, we're going to be fresh. We're going to be new. Next season, 2026, we're going to win logistically. We're going to win, economically because we're getting a new stadium. I mean, it's going to be some new hot dogs, some new popcorn, some new stands, some new features. It's going to be, it's going to be nice. Cold weather. I don't know. I think it's open dome, open stadium, but we might put some little features that we get closed on. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you got to move between the hash marks, Buffalo. Sean McDermott, come on back, buddy. I still believe in you. But maybe it's time for somebody else to come in and win. Man, that's my time. Please comment, like, and subscribe because I feel like it. We're going to bring you more content. We're going to bring you more exciting takes. And man, Bills Mafia, hold tight for another year. Agony and defeat. But it's going to be so sweet when we win our Super Bowl. Until next time, signing off. You guys have a great January. And enjoy February 8th. Who's going to be there? Is it going to be Denver? Is it going to be New England? Is it going to be St. Louis, a.k.a. LA Rams? Show my age there. Sorry. Or is it going to be who we all think it's going to be? You tell me. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I think Seattle might got it. I just don't think Seattle might do it, man. I'm just saying Seattle might be crowned 2026 NFL champs. That's my prediction. All right, y'all. Peace. Until next time.